Welcome to the Art of Listening to Your Body podcast. My name is Jin Ong and I'm your host. I practice as an osteopath and psychosomatic therapist and am fascinated by the mind-body connection and how your physical body is a manifestation of your emotional state. I help people get unstuck from their chronic pain and live the life they want, grounded in values and driven by purpose. My aim is to create awareness to the underlying emotions behind pain, injury, and disease in the body. Join me to learn more about the story of your body, what different issues may indicate, how to release emotions so that you can prevent problems, as well as inspiring pain story interviews. Hi there. Today I wanted to share with you my thoughts on how you know if you are working with the right therapist. For me, working in the health industry, I'm often well connected with friends, practitioners, and also client feedback around their experience with different practitioners. So I love to know who is the right person to send my clients on to if it's out of my scope or it's not my area of interest. And I like to help people navigate that pathway to avoid them wasting their money on certain things that may be useful, but just not at that point in time on their health journey. So you might be a person who has multiple practitioners in your life, and I do want you to be careful about seeing too many practitioners and the mentality around that and having appointment overwhelm, which is a thing. The appointment overwhelm can be causing a lot of your issues, having too many things to run around to. Or you could be somebody who is in discomfort, maybe some pain. You know that you need help, but there is so much choice out there that you get paralyzed by the choice and you have no idea how to make the decision or where to start. And again, you want to invest wisely. Unfortunately, sometimes you will go down this pathway of seeing people, not that they're ever bad practitioners, but sometimes it is a little bit of trial and error. And I encourage you to keep searching, keep asking is really important, and reach out for help and suggestions for other people who may be experiencing similar issues to you. And most of the time, people who have popped out the other side are more than happy to share their experience to make sure that you get the help that you need. So if you're in that situation where you haven't started your health journey, hopefully I can give you a little bit of encouragement and a foundation on where to get started. Because in today's society, we have so many different professions out there, and within each profession, there are so many different practitioners and therapists and different personalities. And those practitioners and therapists have got their own interests. So you really want to connect with the right person. I'm really big on matching people's personality and skill set to a client or a patient's personality. The other thing is that you can get people who are very strongly in two camps of evidence-based medicine and evidence-based results, which I absolutely agree with. I think it's important that we use practices that are proven to work. However, I encourage you to also look outside the box. So evidence-based practice is a combination of the best evidence and research out there, which might be through research and science studies, but it's also based on clinical experience. And I know from clinical experience that sometimes evidence-based practice just does not work. And for those of you who have been on significant health journeys and tried a mix of different approaches will probably agree that sometimes you've tried things that are meant to work. The research says it's meant to work, but it just doesn't. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. And you know that I'm really big on the mind-body connection and how emotions affect our physical state and how we might present with physical injuries, illnesses, and disease states. And a lot of that comes back to emotions and events that you've experienced in your life. And everybody is unique because of the way you were brought up, the environment you were brought up in, your cultural experiences, and therefore your beliefs and your attitudes and your reactions to things. So if something doesn't work for you, even though the research says that it should, don't be discouraged. Keep going. And keep an open mind as well if things aren't working for you, to start looking outside of conventional medicine. There's lots of alternative therapies out there. And a lot of these alternative therapies are stemmed from ancient traditional medicine, which has been used for many thousands of years, long before science or research could ever prove it. And when you look into these traditional practices, they have an amazing structure and system to it that works, and science is going in and exploring how it is these traditional medicines do actually work, and find that they do influence the body the way that they say they do. So look outside the box, and connecting with your practitioner is really important. So if you're already in therapy, what I say to my clients is, depending on what's going on, I largely see a lot of musculoskeletal things, also emotional stuff, those physical manifestations of emotional states. But I feel that you should be getting a change, I'm wary when I use that word, but it's ideal that you experience a change within 3 to 5 sessions. And they're not always pleasant changes. Sometimes they can be uncomfortable, but I would, if you're going to experience discomfort, making sure that your practitioner is communicating this with you, because sometimes the discomfort isn't a negative thing. Sometimes it does need to happen before you pop out over the other side. Now, if it's something more recent, the earlier you get onto something, the quicker your body is likely to respond. So that's when I say maybe 3 sessions, you should be noticing a change. It would be great if it's positive, and a lot of the time it is, but don't be discouraged if it is a negative response, as long as your practitioner can explain why you might be having that response. If you've been experiencing something a little bit more chronic or long-term, maybe it's been several months or even years or decades, don't expect it to change within a few sessions. Again, it can, but I say give it at least 5 sessions. Now, again, it's different for every single profession. Sometimes you might need to allow 10 sessions. Like when I tell people to go to Pilates, I say at least commit for 10 weeks, do it once a week, and I'm pretty sure you're going to feel amazing. But I make sure I refer them to a Pilates instructor that I trust and know that gets results. So giving your body a chance, giving that practitioner a chance, and making sure that you understand the process so that your practitioner is communicating with you. You understand what to expect and you know what that long-term goal is. And this is so that you don't get caught up in having treatment after treatment, week after week, and not really noticing much change. The other thing to note is, do you actually feel change in your body? Sometimes you may be so disconnected because you're so busy in your mind that you don't pay attention to it, and treatment starts to become really passive, and you just go because you feel like you're actually doing something. But if you listen to your body and feel into it, are you actually noticing a positive difference? And if you are, no matter what therapy you're doing, that's great. Keep going with it. You also don't want to be reliant on treatment. The body has an innate capacity to heal itself. And sometimes when it gets really out of balance, that is where you may need some intervention. So when I say don't rely on treatment, I don't mean get treated and then stop, because for some people, self-care is important, and you may need to see your therapist once a fortnight, once every few weeks, once every few months, twice a year. whatever works for you. It depends on your threshold. And again, that communication of knowing that you're getting results, it's benefiting you positively, and that your practitioner is seeing change. I also hope, because I do see a lot of my clients on a regular basis, some of them might be every few weeks, some of them might be a couple of times a year. But again, we work into what works for them. I'm not too quick to push people away. If they're in a chronic state of stress, I support them, but I support them through that change. So, yeah, you might have a regular maintenance type program, and it's not to say that you're staying in a holding pattern, but it's actually keeping you well. And on that, often people wait until they've got discomfort in their mind, in their body, before they do anything. And actually, your body has probably been suffering and compensating for that discomfort a long time before you actually manifest the symptoms. So once you're out of discomfort, I generally say to people, it's not the time to stop working on your body. We've just been able to get that pain level, that discomfort down to a point where your body can manage. And now, when you're out of discomfort, is the time that we can really implement long lasting change with changing your habits, maybe implementing exercise routines, changes in diet. Because I think most of you who have been in discomfort know that it's hard to function, it's hard to make decisions. So when you're feeling good, this is where you can implement change so that you're not living that same lifestyle that caused your discomfort in your body. So the big summary on that is, if you are seeing a physical therapist or any other sort of therapy, is that you are noticing a positive shift in your life, or in your discomfort. And if you're not, rather than just ditching your practitioner and moving on to the next thing, is have a chat to them and just be really open with the communication and say, look, I don't feel like I'm getting better, or I feel like I've plateaued a little bit. What is it that you suggest? And hopefully your practitioner will be able to see where you're at. Sometimes it could be because you actually haven't followed their advice and you've been too passive and you've just relied on treatment. Or they can refer you on to the next person to work with. So not everybody personally stays in my care for a really long time. I will hit a plateau with some people, and I know it's the end of the journey for this point in time. And my duty of care is to refer them on to the next best person for them to work with. So I hope that makes sense. Don't get stuck in a cycle of being treated over and over again if you're not noticing results, and just be willing to have that open conversation with your practitioner and ask questions, because you deserve to feel better and for your body to recover, and it can do that. You just need to find the right people, and often it will be a team approach. So for those of you who are seeing a multitude of practitioners for maybe a few things, it could potentially be narrowed down to just a couple of people, so you don't get that appointment overwhelm and too many things to do in your week just to help your body. Also making sure that your practitioners are communicating with one another and on the same page. So that really team and integrative, collaborative approach. Now, for those of you who haven't even started and maybe you're experiencing discomfort, sometimes the block can be that it can be difficult to invest the time and the finances into yourself, and you want to get it right. But this is where I suggest you just start somewhere, asking questions of people, putting it out to your community. Maybe if it's not too sensitive and you feel comfortable, just saying, hey, I've got this issue going on, who do you recommend? And people who have had success with different practitioners and therapists are often more than happy to share who it is they've worked with. And you start the process, and hopefully you have a clear understanding of what the therapy is going to do for you and when you can expect to start to see results. And you're given some stuff to do at home. And as long as you're compliant with that and you notice change, then that's great. But if not, again, same advice as before for people who are already seeing therapists, is you have that open conversation with your therapist. You express the frustration that maybe you have so that they know how to navigate the pathway a little bit clearer for you. So the key for those of you who haven't started is just start somewhere, ask for support, ask for help and a little bit of direction. And often once you're in with a therapist, they should be able to help you navigate who is that next person to go and see. I know some people get disheartened because their therapist says, "Oh, I can't help you. You should go and see this person." But take that as a positive. They're not wasting your time. They're not trying to fix something or help you with something that they're not able to. They're, they're putting you onto that right person to start your journey. So this really comes down to asking for help, asking for support, which I know can be hard, but also being willing to invest in yourself. And the longer you leave things, the longer it is going to take for your body to heal and recover. So to be patient, but my gauge, only as a physical therapist, seeing a lot of musculoskeletal issues, is that you should be able to see a change. It's not always a comfortable change within 3 to 5 sessions. If I'm not getting a shift, definitely within 5 sessions, something's up. Either the person has got other stuff that they haven't told me about, they're not doing the things that I've told them that they need to do, or I'm simply not the right therapist and I'm prepared to refer on if that's the case. So I hope that helps you guys today to navigate your health and ask for support and get the treatment that you need. Just a reminder that my emotional body training, which is an online program, is launching for another round. This is open to health and wellness practitioners, coaches, and trainers who are actively seeing clients. The early bird specials end tomorrow, and the course will be starting on October 8th. And I only have 3 spots left. This is a small group training. There's only a total of 12 practitioners. There's already an eclectic mix of different therapists on board. So you get to open your mind and educate yourself and widen your network of other people that you can refer your clients to as well. This is an opportunity to work through your own stuff, be supported by myself and amazing team of support coaches this time round to work through your own discomfort. I teach that you need to be able to go through this process yourself before you share it with your clients. And it's really powerful. The last group had amazing shifts in their life, both personally and professionally. As mentioned, I'll be joined by support coaches, the amazing Elle Brown, who is a women's health nutritionist. She was on my last program and she implemented everything that was discussed, even though it was uncomfortable. And over a short period of time, had huge shifts in her own personal health, as well as a massive change in the clientele that she was seeing. And she has turned around her practice. There's more details on the full information page that I'll link to, and a replay of the webinar that Elle was on and myself to share more about this information. And I'll also be joined by the amazing Ania Volovic, who is a coach from the States and has been through her own incredible health journey. I have interviewed her on the podcast that will be released very soon. She has had her journey with brain cancer. Even prior to that, she was a coach. Her specialization is in mindset, motivation, and intuitive strategy. So if you jump on board this training, you'll be super lucky to get all of this wealth of information from all 3 of us and experience the power of the group as well. I'm really looking forward to sharing this information with you. And I only have 3 spots left. So if this resonates with you, tomorrow the early bird ends. The cart will still be open. However, it will obviously close once I've sold the 12 spots. So if it feels right, I say just go with your heart, but reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to have a quick chat. If you've been following me for a while, you will know the work that I share, but we get to go into it in a much deeper level during this training and within a group, which is a little bit scary, I know, but you can get amazing shifts and as a practitioner, just be exposed to the emotions, the deeper emotions behind what goes on for people and therapists. We ourselves have our own issues that we need to work through as well. So I'd love you to join me. This is going to be the last training for 2020. It's a program that's constantly evolving. And with the early bird specials, you get access to a massive discount off the training, and you get bonus one-to-one calls with myself and some self-work exercise to really build your foundation and know where you're heading. We cover all sorts of stuff. It is about teaching your clients about the emotions that are behind their issues, their chronic pain, physical issues, their injuries, their disease states, and helping them navigate it on a much more holistic level. But as I said, you get an opportunity to work through your own stuff first so that you have the confidence to implement it on your clients. And we talk business strategy, all sorts of things. Anyway, get in touch if this resonates with you. Thanks for learning with me on the Art of Listening to Your Body podcast. If you like what you've heard, I would love if you could rate, review, and share with your friends. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. My handle is The Art of Listening to Your Body. You can join my free Facebook group where I go live regularly to teach you about different conditions and the deeper underlying emotions at play.